Welcome to the Wildcat Watch, your weekly look at what's going on at Baker University. I'm your host, Ashley Payne. The Baker cheer and dance teams have been working hard all year. Now they're hoping all the blood, sweat, and tears pay off. After the regional competition in February, both teams qualified for nationals. That event takes place April 11th to the 15th in Daytona Beach, Florida. The guys and gals are starting to feel the pressure.
I'm really confident in our team. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to put all the effort that we can into it to come back with another title.
I'm really excited but really nervous as well. Even though these last days until nationals are going to be really hard, I think we're going to pull it off and do a really great performance.
The cheer team will be competing against 10 schools, while the dance team will go up against 8 schools. Check thebakerorange.com for results. The Tuesday Kansas basketball player Ben McLemore was one of many freshmen to announce that he was leaving college to go to the NBA. Is this a good idea? KMBU TV's Nick Williams explores that and more in this week's roundtable discussion.
Nowadays, I look more at the player's situation, and I know Ben McLemore is under a lot of scrutiny for entering the draft, or wanting to at least, too early, and he's supposed to be a #1 draft pick. I already personally think he's overrated, but I do think about his family, and I empathize with that, and I know they do need the money. But ultimately, if it were up to me, education is important, and I would have him stay at least another year.
I feel like Gloria said, there are a lot of players out there who come from impoverished background that could really use the money, and it would be very helpful to their families. But at the same time, I think that they need to have a level of maturity before they leave. There are a lot of players that, even if they leave early and they blow a knee their first year, what are they going to do the rest of their lives? So I think it's a hard situation to judge, and a lot of the time I think it goes with individual maturity, and I just hope that the players have the sense to listen to their coaches.
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, he made a comment saying that he would indeed draft Brittany Griner. He'd give her a chance in the D-League. What do you all think about women playing in the NBA?
What position is she going to play in the NBA? You're not going to go against LeBron. You're not going to go against Melo. You can't guard, Dwight Howard. So, it's not her place. And Mark Cuban, as irrelevant as he is, the Mavericks aren't going to make the playoffs this year. He loves to have his name, in the media, and I think this is just a publicity stunt. I don't think he's serious about it. But hey, let's see what happens. Time will tell.
To check out the entire roundtable discussion, go to youtube.com/BakerUmedia. College is all about learning, right? And there are many things to know, including basic general knowledge. To see how Baker students stack up in that area, here's Ryan Poe.
Hi, I'm Ryan Poe, and welcome to this week's edition of Baker Beat. What is the capital of Canada?
Ottawa.
Ottawa?
I think it's like Owenton.
Ontario?
No, that is incorrect. What is the name of the U.S. President's plane?
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
I think it's Air Force One.
And the Bering Strait divides Alaska and what other country?
Russia? Russia.
Is it the Soviet Union?
It was Russia, so that's close. What is the only amendment to the U.S. Constitution to be repealed?
The 19th?
I don't know nothing about the U.S. Amendment. 21st.
How many countries border the United States?
Two.
Interstates that end in odd numbers do what?
Run north and south.
They go south, like north and south. Cross.
Now let's get to the answers. The capital of Canada is Ottawa. The name of the president's plane is Air Force One. The Bering Strait divides Alaska and Russia. The 18th Amendment repealed the 21st Amendment. Mexico and Canada border the United States, and interstates that end in odd numbers run north and south. That'll do it for this week's edition of Baker Beat. I'm Ryan Poe.
A respected faculty member is leaving Baker after the semester. We'll talk to him next. But first, let's check out what's happening around campus. can provide a way for students to feel like they're part of a family. But what happens when chapters don't get along? Megan Pontius discusses the issues in this week's commentary.
3 sororities, 4 fraternities, and 1 big problem: Greek unity. Or should I say lack of. As a campus with such a small Greek community, why is it so hard for us to support each other? On a larger campus with more houses and more students, I might be able to understand. But on our campus, where everyone knows or at least recognizes the majority of the other students, what's the big deal? We know from basic life experience that not everyone likes the same things. That principle holds true for Greek organizations as well. We have to be around each other for 9 months out of the year. Why is it so hard for us to get along? Tension within the houses can and will lead to tension outside of the houses. Houses compete to see who can add the most members, who can keep the most members, and who can be the best Greek organization on campus. It has to stop. I understand that there are driving factors behind the competition, but it doesn't have to be nasty. When houses start tearing each other's down, it makes the Greeks as a whole look bad. If the ultimate goal is to grow the size of every house on campus, wouldn't it be easier to do that if we supported each other? Let's stop talking and start building. Building memberships and building relationships. I'm Megan Pontius.
As the semester comes to an end, several faculty members, including choir director Matthew Potterton, have announced that they will not be returning to Baker in the fall. KMBU Xiomara Nunez sat down with Dr. Potterton to discuss his decision to leave Baker University.
You recently announced that you will be leaving Baker at the end of this year. Why did you decide to make that decision?
It comes down to the opportunity that was offered to me. I'm going to East Tennessee State University. It's a larger school, and there's just some opportunities that I couldn't pass up. And so it was, a professional move, but one that I did not make lightly.
Did you consider this decision for a long time?
Yeah, about a year ago, my wife and I were kind of looking at different possibilities and trying to look and see what was best for us.
Doing to prepare for the end of your time here?
Well, I told my kids, I said, I want to go out with a bang. So let's, after I was sad, and I announced it, and I was sad in tears, I said, let's dig in and make this the best concert yet.
Are you sad for the end of the semester?
It is a wild ride of emotions, certainly. And depending on the day, depending on the hour that you talk to me, I'm on some different part of the ride. Because clearly I'm excited about where I'm going. I see great potential of where I'm going, and I'm very pleased about that. But I have to leave a community that I got heavily involved in.
What do you think you will miss the most?
Definitely the students. Working with these students day in and day out has been a great joy, and to see their energy, to make music with them.
To check out the entire interview, go to youtube.com/BakerUmedia. Seniors are just about to make their way out of Baker University, so that means it's time for the countdown to commencement. Here's Brad Barnes.
With spring graduation just a few weeks away, KMBU TV will start to honor those seniors with the annual countdown to commencement. While most seniors are still trying to figure out their plans for their first job, one senior, Ethan Bauer, has already figured out how much his hard work has really paid off.
I'll be starting out in Kansas City for the first couple months, and then I'll be moving to Rock Hill, South Carolina is the projection for my first trip, as well as San Diego. And after you spend 2 years in the States, you're allowed to have 6 months abroad.
Bauer was hired by QWIT and will begin work after graduation this May. Not only does QWIT give him the chance to see the world, but it is also a chance for him to put some money into his pocket.
I would say that the majority of our students are pretty happy to be in that mid-40s range, and we're talking about, business majors. Every major has a different set point.
That mid-40s range is not a long shot for graduates. According to CNN.com, it is actually the average income for students fresh out of college. Bauer knew there were many factors that could impact his future income, so he double majored in accounting and business, and he added 2 internships to his resume.
So I was a fund accountant at State Street after my sophomore year, which was just a typical internship, and then I was a consultant at State Street the second summer.
While the average income for students in Bauer's situation sits in the mid-40s, Ethan will be stepping into the market making nearly $10,000 more than that average. It all started with a connection he made at Baker's Career Services Center, and Wade is hoping that more students will have the success that Bauer found.
We're here 12 months out of the year, and so even if people wait until after graduation and say, now I'm ready to really get into the business of looking for a job, I'm more than happy to work with them.
That'll do it for this week's edition of the Wildcat Watch. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.